What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of StoryHive On Location Vancouver with Beats, Eats, and more. I am your host, Kazi. We are broadcasting live right now on the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam, the Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish First Nations. Utmost love and respect to the original stewards and protectors of these lands, these waters. We're also broadcasting right now from Nora Vera's studio. This episode has been powered by TELUS STORYHIVE and our guest today. I'm so excited. We have Kentya, a true community builder in the music industry with over a decade of experience supporting artists and producing events. She's currently the community manager at Music BC and BC co-chair for Advanced Music Canada, where she's actively advocating for and uplifting the Black music community. From her roots as a soul artist to curating stages at JUNOfest, Mural Fest, and beyond, Kentya is shaping spaces where culture and community can really thrive, and was recently named a 2026 Rising Leader by Women in Music Canada. Y'all make some noise for Kentya. Wow. I want to start, as we do on this show, with your early beginnings.
Okay.
Like your first entry points into music, and where did that all begin with for you?
Yeah, I mean, like in church, I was in a choir in Saskatoon. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite choir, but like I still sang.
Yes.
In elementary, I was in band. High school, I was in band and choir. I mean, my dad always listened to like Motown music, Jackson 5, Whitney Houston. So, I mean, it's kind of his fault that I loved the music I do love. Yeah, so I just feel like I was just always singing, and I was always playing my saxophone as well.
What? I never knew you played sax.
I don't now. I think it would hurt my lips too much. But yeah, I definitely played it for 6 years when I was younger.
So you were a soul artist before stepping into this side of the industry, supporting artists. How did that chapter shape how you move now?
I mean, I feel like it helps me have the experience that artists, like, you know, having conversation with the artist, I understand it. I didn't get as far as like a lot of artists. Like I didn't tour or anything or leave Vancouver. I mean, I did leave Vancouver, like Vancouver Island and things like that. But it just helped me understand just like what goes on in the artist's head. Yeah, I was in a band for a few years, found that when I went to school here, production school. And that was great. Like I always dreamed of like performing and like actually writing my own original music. I sang a ton of covers, but it's kind of nice knowing that you're able to like release your own stuff and be happy about that. Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you wanted to pursue more as an individual artist or with a band or?
Yeah, like I still crave that side, definitely. Like I want to still be in studios. I want to still write with artists and things like that. Like I love the production side of things, especially like vocal production. I love coming up with melodies and just like helping somebody switch up a sentence a bit or remove words, because sometimes you don't realize like a lot of words go into writing and you just want to remove a bit of that. Yeah.
So then now, how did we get into, you know, evolving from pursuing music yourself to now supporting artists and working more on an administrative side, as a community builder side?
Yeah, I mean, with time, like at the school that I went to, I ended up working at it, and then things didn't work out. Right. And then after that, there was just a job opening at Music BC, and then I went for that, and luckily I got it. And again, it was during COVID. But yeah, I feel like you need to network a lot to kind of have these doors open for you. And yeah, it's really nice like to be able to support people, help artists out. There's so many things there. Like, you know, artists need resources. I'm happy to give them.
What's your day-to-day like there, and in what exactly do you do in your role there?
Okay, well, we just finished MOARRR, so let me just put that one to the side, because that was 5 months of like really hard work, and we're really happy with that. But usually like I handle the membership, so any members can talk to me about like what resources there are. I run a Jumpstart consultation program where you can have an hour meeting with somebody that's on our list, and you get to have that meeting for free.
Wow.
So you just have to be a BC resident to do it. And there's about 12 consultants, and it's consultants from like everywhere. There's lots in BC as well, but there's some from Toronto. There's a guy there from Australia. There's managers in there, branding consultants.
So the main mandate of Music BC is?
We just have a lot of programs. So we have a travel grant program. We run educational things. We just did MOARRR, which is like, you know, helping artists perform and things like that, showcasing them, bringing delegates from outside of BC to come and see, also having them speak. We do panels. We do export things. We send artists to Toronto, Montreal, the UK, Americana, like just so many. We run a lot of programs, and we're lucky to be able to have funding from government to be able to do that.
What was SOMAfest about? What was the aim and intention behind this 5 months of hard work that you did?
Yeah, so SOMA stands for South Main. I
actually did not know
I know
that.
some people didn't know. So we were supporting venues and businesses in Mount Pleasant area, south of Main, right? So on Friday, we did Heroes Welcome, which is down like Main and 26th. And then we also did Fox Cabaret as our opening. In the daytime, we took over Chillax Studio and Birdhouse. So we did that for Friday and Saturday. Saturday, we did Biltmore, Redgate, Anza Club, and then Chillax Studio. So we had 4 venues that night. Lots of different artists. We had 32 different artists over the weekend. We had people coming from Victoria, Prince George, like Kelowna. We brought a lot of local artists to perform it and outside of Vancouver as well. So it was really cool. You could have got a wristband as a super fan and just hop around to different venues if you wanted, or you could just buy an individual ticket. But the goal for us is like, we've met so many people outside of Vancouver, and we wanted to bring some of that here. And we wanted these artists to learn from other people that have ran festivals. So we had somebody from Pop Montreal, M for Montreal. We had people from the UK come down. And yeah, it was just like such a good opportunity for just this industry to learn from each other, to meet each other, to network, to grow. Like we saw so many people with notepads out and stuff and just like writing pages worth of things. Aww. And that was the best. On Friday, we did a mixer and we had Jappa Dog as a food truck, like just bringing some staples into Vancouver and just, I don't know. Yeah, it was such a good weekend. Like, honestly, I feel really happy about it. Yeah.
What would you say from, because you've also traveled across other regions in Canada and experienced their music communities, whether it's like Toronto and Montreal, et cetera, like what do you notice within Vancouver and BC that are gaps that you are actively trying to fill?
I mean, there's not really a conference that has happened in Vancouver that is every year. So I think it's just something that Music BC wanted to bring and start. At least SOMAfest, we used to have Let's Hear It. So it kind of bounces off of that.
So and that's no longer?
No, not longer. But we did a songwriting circle and called it the Let's Hear It Songwriting Circle. And that was a nod to Olivia Kwan. And we had 3 amazing artists like perform some songs from an album she worked on. So that was nice. And we'll still keep that title, I'm sure. But with SOMAfest, it's just we lack having music conferences. We lack bringing people together a lot and things like that. We also don't have like these huge companies that Toronto has or New York has and things like that. Like we don't have a TikTok Canada or like we don't have big Sony offices or Universal Music and things like that. But instead we're just like, let's just bring people here. Like that was the goal, is like, let's just bring it. I think we brought about 20 people from out of town, delegates, to come here and stuff like that. So it was just nice because I feel like a lot of these artists aren't able to always travel to Toronto or other places, and it's hard. It's a financial barrier for a lot of artists. So yeah, we like to keep tickets cheap and affordable. If somebody reached out and said, I can't afford this, I'd be like, here's a ticket. Like it's not about always making money for us. It's always about like helping artists and helping people.
What are you most excited about within our BC music landscape in comparison to these other music communities that are bigger and maybe more saturated?
I feel like the nice thing is a lot of these people that like got to witness Vancouver this weekend, our weather and our city, we get to show off regardless. Like the mountains in the background.
We got lucky with the sun.
Yeah, because Thursday was pouring. But like the second the sun's out, it's just like automatically, it's just like all those venues that we chose were very walkable. So like Biltmore to, I don't even know where people are going from Biltmore to Chillax. They're like, that was only a 10-minute walk. It's so close. And it's like, nice. You just saw Biltmore. You just saw Chillax. Now you saw Anza Club. Now you saw Redgate. Like we have a lot of good DIY spaces. And I feel like it's nice to show that off and show them like, look how the rooms were packed. So like also our Vancouver scene, like a lot of these people have some really good friends and fans that want to come out and show their support. So it was just nice to be able to do that. I feel like, Vancouver and the music industry itself, it can be a bit difficult to navigate and stuff like that. But I feel like once you meet a good group of friends and like similar musicians, you kind of build like a family, which is nice like that. Yeah.
What does community mean to you in this music industry context?
I think for me, it's just supporting one another, showing up for friends. Like, I know a lot of us can be like tapped out and busy and things like that too. But I think, you know, say somebody has this album release, it's like that's when you see everyone's going to show up and things like that. For me, it's also not hiding any resources.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, gatekeeping. And that's not even the musician side. Just as an industry, like, it's really important to bring people who are underneath you and like open the doors for them, give them volunteer opportunity, later get them paid and show them like you don't always have to do stuff for free and things like that. Yeah, I'll have to say like even Christina La like always opened doors for me, but always taught me like do the same thing, you know, teach somebody below you, because if you ever leave, like you want to make sure somebody can take that seat properly. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's just supporting each other and like making sure your name is being said in other rooms in a great way. Like, you know, making sure I mention you if somebody needs help with a set or like just things like that. Like if there's anyone who needs an MC, I like always actually put your name down, like things like that. So it's just like, yeah, not gatekeeping and just like being open to other opportunities for other people.
Can you tell us a bit more about Advance and your role within Advance and also the mandate of what Advance is doing in Canada?
Of course, yeah. So I think Advance started in 2021, and I just think they saw a lack of some Black representation in some of these rooms itself or these meeting rooms and things like that. So they started that, and then once I got to Music BC, Lindsay kind of just told me, hey, there's this thing that started, I think you should look into it. And yeah, so Advance is for Black music professionals across Canada. It's to help the people that are behind the scenes, like myself, or an entertainment lawyer, or the executive director, or like anything that's kind of not the artist, not saying they're not involved, but just everybody else. And it's to make space for us. Like, say you're having a panel and it's about branding. It's like, why is there not a Black person in that seat? Like, we do that stuff too, you know, like things like that. And then what I do in BC is I take care of the programming that happens out here. So there's a career expo that happens every October, November, and I find 4 mentors, and it's kind of like one-on-ones they'll have with people, like almost like speed dating. Yeah. And then it's just a way for more people in the community to meet people that are in those positions. I don't do this alone anymore. I luckily get to do this with Juma, but yeah, so we just got a grant not long ago, and we're going to push out some more programming this year as well. I think what's really important for Vancouver versus Toronto, let's say, is like the people here just like want to network. They just want to be in a room together, and they just want to shake hands and meet other people. I've seen now somebody just got hired recently at SoCan, and it's luckily because she just went to the Career Expo, things like that. So like the goal for me has been like trying to get people jobs, or just like, again, getting people through the door.
For anyone who might not know, what do you think are some of the realities that Black artists are navigating here in BC that might not be so obvious?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of industry professionals that are Black in BC. There's a handful of us, and like, even for me, like I've been in this seat now for 4 years. Like my time's about to like come up, but there's not even like, I can't even think of 10 music professionals that are Black women in British Columbia. I can think of many in Toronto, things like that. So sometimes, you know, an artist just wants to relate to somebody that looks like them, understands them, things like that. I've had so many people like come up to me after events being like, I've been looking for this for so long. I've had elders come to these events, like 60 plus, being like, I've never seen this in my life.
Wow.
And they were like, when we started like in the 80s, like we were fighting against so many other things. Like, it's crazy to see this generation be able to pull this off in a room. But even now I've seen so many more people kind of do these network things. And it's just like honestly amazing to see. Whether you're Black, it doesn't matter. It's just like, I think a lot of artists here want to relate to somebody either that looks like them, sounds like them, and just that, yeah.
It's so true. And it matters.
Yeah.
It's the difference of feeling like even psychologically safe in a room.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, right when you had spoken on that, I was just thinking about being in now the experiential design world. I'm starting to build and make connections within that very small and niche industry. And I had participated in an event, like it was like a retreat last year. And I everyone was like designing something or contributing something to the retreat.
Yeah.
And so my thing was I was teaching everybody how to do the electric slide to dance, you know, adding
Good
that
job.
element of fun,
Yeah.
which is something that like, you know, Filipinos really embraced thanks to Marsha Griffiths, who's originally from Jamaica and put out that track. And like, you know, that blew up in the US, which also blew up in the Philippines. And that Filipinos love line dancing. Anyway, that's the whole backtrack story of the history of the electric slide. Fast forward, I'm now at this retreat and I'm teaching this non-verbally. I'm just teaching it through dancing. But the whole playlist that I played leading up to it, you know, we've got D'Angelo, we've got Marvin Gaye, we've got Erykah Badu, we got all of this. And at this retreat, I am like the only Asian person. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, I think I was the only Asian person there, but there was also one other person who was Black in that space. And they were living to the music, singing to all the words. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for being here.
But they're also like, thank you for doing that, you know?
Exactly.
It's like you relate to the person that you see in the room.
Exactly. And I had said to them, I was like, I'm so glad you're here because honestly, through doing this activity and sharing it with everyone and that you already knew, I feel very culturally seen and I feel like culturally related to in this moment.
Totally.
And they were like, got you, of course. And it was exactly proving to your point of like, you know, we're navigating these spaces, especially as, you know, trying to move in the professional world.
Totally.
And it's important. There's something about that and the psychological safety of like, oh, okay, I can let my guard down a little bit. I don't have to put on so much because there are other people here who relate to me and relate to my experience.
Totally. I feel like this, and maybe you can agree, but it took a while for me to understand that. Like to understand
which part?
To understand like I need people around me that look like me. You know what I mean? Like being born in Saskatoon, you kind of don't even think this way. You don't even know what microaggressions are. You just take them, and it is what it is, but you just take them.
Yeah.
And then
the uncomfortable laughter, like, ha ha ha.
But like that again is like later when I was like, man, that felt really uncomfortable. But it actually took for George Floyd to pass away for me to understand like, oh, I actually like care about a lot of these things. Like I genuinely care about like bringing Black artists up. I genuinely care about making sure if I'm going to curate something that it's pretty BIPOC. Like I care about people that look like me. I care about helping the young Black girl. I care about all these like little things, and I'm sure you feel the same, but it takes a while for, at least for me it took me a while to understand that. Like to understand that's how I felt. I felt weird. I felt weird about those microaggressions. I didn't like it. And then now when people do it, I'm like, am I even laughing with you? Like, you know, things like that. But yeah, now it's like, it's way more important for me. And like when Advance came up, I was like, yeah, of course I want to do that. Like, yes. Like, you need me to run something here and like bring people together? Absolutely. Oh, people that look like me? Even better.
Even better.
Yeah.
What would a thriving, equitable music ecosystem look like to you?
Oh, wow. I mean, we're lucky in Canada. Like we have grants, we have funding that helps people. It doesn't help everyone because not everyone gets that opportunity. Maybe if there was a bit more, like, you know,
money, you mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think artists understand, like, Music BC, like, we fight for that funding. Like, you know, we're trying to make sure that this funding stays around. I don't think artists understand, like, how hard that is.
Yeah. Advocating.
We're going to start doing that again next year, is to start advocating and lobbying for this money again. And, like, we need people to write letters. We need people to start to, like, realize, like, if we don't get this, you don't get it either, you know? But maybe if there was just even more money in... I feel like there's certain grants, but I think there could probably be a bit more to help just even an artist. Like even if there was like $500 ones, like little ones, micro grants. I think those would be cool and important to see. It can help artists in little ways. Like even if it's like, go buy a microphone for your house, or like, you know, like easy studio setups, or even for the podcast world to have more artists, to have more media outlets for artists just to be on the internet and things like that, or to help support radio, like, you know, money for radio, so that sticks around, so people get played on the radio, because the radio pays you more than the streaming services. One song pays you way more than 1,000 streams on a service, right? So maybe just like more support in media venues so they don't get shut down.
Yes.
And like having affordable venues for these artists, and those are the ones that typically get shut down because they're kind of DIY spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, and I think that would help.
What advice would you want to give to, young people, young artists who are trying to find their place in the industry today, especially coming from here?
Yeah, like there's so many different pieces of advice. Like, get out there, network. Like, don't wait for somebody to go with you to the panel or a friend. Like, sit in that seat alone. So many people go to these things alone. You will meet people. Like, I promise you'll meet people. Go up to the panelists or the people putting it on and just ask, like, how can I reach you? Or if I have any questions, don't be afraid. There's so many resources out there. Like, another one, follow the Music BC newsletter. Like, that's a good way just to even just get tapped into little things. But like, definitely networking is key. Yeah. And I feel like, again, there's so many pieces of advice, but like sometimes artists, you're going to look for a videographer or a photographer or somebody with a studio. Don't be afraid of using your social media to ask that. People always have answers, and hopefully they're not gatekeeping them from you. But definitely networking is very important. That's how you get gigs. That's how you learn about a coffee shop gig. That's how you maybe meet a manager. There's just networking is key.
For yourself,
Yes.
especially as someone who's been in the industry for 10 years, been working with Music BC the last 5 years, being someone who's more established, like, where do you want to grow? How do you envision for yourself, like, the next chapter for your, your own trajectory and journey?
Yeah, I mean, I want my empire to build always.
Speak it out loud, queen.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to eventually have people underneath me working for me.
In
I
what
mean,
capacity?
I don't know yet. Like, if it's putting on an event and they hire me to do it and I get to hire people below me, great. I know a ton of amazing people. We know a ton of amazing people, I should say. I would love to start consulting for artists and like helping them out. And that's like one-on-one with me versus like another company. Like, I would love to have more of those conversations with artists. I mean, I've been doing it for so long that it's like, obviously I would like to get paid to do that.
Yes.
Just because like a lot of people always want your time, but they don't realize it's like you also work too. So it's hard.
Your time is money.
Yeah, exactly. I would just like to start to build my own empire, start to be able to branch off into other cities and help out. I mean, I'm from Saskatoon. Like, I eventually want to go back and be around my family and be able to bring the music community, like build a bit of a music community that I've done here over there, because they already have one. And it's really, again, like, it's like that whole community feel, They just did a metal conference and stuff. Like, that's so cool.
A metal?
That's what I'm saying, yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like, it's just cool. And I would just love to, like, help some BIPOC people there who don't have resources or have people that look like me. I would love to be there for them and things like that. So, yeah, that's kind of where I see myself.
I can't let you go without a rapid fire fun. I feel like you'll be good at this. A song that represents your current season.
Ooh, that's so fun. I mean, Sasha Keeble, why?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up.
It's number one.
A song that reminds you of your younger self.
I'm going to go, like, this is not too young of me, but Fallen Alicia Keys.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. What do you mean not too young of you?
I mean, like, I was not, like, 5.
Right.
But it's like the song I would sing when people are like, can you sing? And I'm like, I'm going to turn around and sing this one song.
I remember when it first came out on the radio.
Like, and all her music videos, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Common.
That era,
yeah.
Come on now.
Coffee or tea, and where in the city are you getting it?
I'm an iced coffee girl, so I buy out.
Yes.
I would say JJ Bean because it's closest to me, but I do love tea. Bengal spice tea, but I shouldn't tell you guys that because it'll be gone off the shelf.
One genre you'll never get tired of.
Is Motown a genre?
Yes.
Then Motown it is.
Is there a genre that people would be surprised to learn that you love?
I mean, I'm not embarrassed by it, but like, I love gospel music.
One word to describe the BC music scene right now.
Growing.
Hey. A music community event that happens in Van City that really inspires you.
I love what Public Disco does.
Hey.
Yeah.
What does community feel like to you in 3 words?
Sharing, caring, and supporting.
If you could time travel to any music era, where are you going?
70s. I'm going to the Soul Train line.
That's right.
I want my afro out, and I just want to be in the fits, and I want to go into the downstairs club and just like black band on the stage, hitting every move possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
One thing you want the industry to do better.
Maybe like put on more events, like the industry, companies itself, put on more things that open doors to people that are not like just on your roster, so more people here can learn from you. Yeah.
Something people don't see about your work.
Like how much time I put into it, or like, I don't know, just like all of the work that goes behind it. I think a lot of people see me as like the front face, or like, you know, when they see me, it's like this energy and stuff, but it's like they don't know the amount of time. Like, I think people understand. There's some people, of course, they're like, thank you for everything and stuff. But again, I think some people have opinions of what they want from a certain company or from a person, and they don't realize we're just like a small team, individual team, and all that. So just all the behind the scenes that happens before you put on something big.
A small detail that makes a big difference in a show.
A good team, like, or just an organized team, I would say. Seriously.
Yeah.
After running this weekend, we hired a couple people to run venues and had volunteers at every space. And like, that was the most, like, I don't know, it just felt so smooth just having, I had 7 group chats, but like, I promise you, being able to not have to run to the spaces because people can figure it out, it's the best. Or just having a good like co-partner in work. Like, I got to work with Emily for years, and like that was just like so easy to work in venue spaces with her.
Shout outs to Emily.
I know, shout outs to Em.
Aw. Your superpower.
I'd say I work a room pretty well.
My phone would have to agree. I thought it was on silent. You know how to work a room pretty well.
Yeah.
A value you refuse to compromise on.
Communicate properly.
Yes.
Tell me if you're going to be late. Things like that. Because I will call you out.
Yes. The follow through for me is the meaning of like you do what you say.
Yes.
And you say what you do. You know, otherwise you're kind of like not going to be in my inner circle.
Or you're just remembering it for the next thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, my last one for you.
Okay.
Something that's been bringing you joy lately.
Aw. Like, honestly, I feel like just with how crazy this weather can be, this is very little, but when the sun comes out, it like can definitely make or break me. Like, it's just like, it makes me so much more happier. Is like when you walk around the city here and it's like so nice.
And the cherry blossoms are out.
Like right now, it's so cute. Yeah, y'all need to come to Vancouver.
Unless you have allergies, it is terrible.
Maybe that's why I'm stuffed up.
That was me last week. I was like, I think I'm developing allergies.
I didn't realize that.
I was waking up sneezing. My eyes were watering. And I'm like, no, not in the most beautiful season in Van City when the blossoms come out.
I didn't take in why my nose has been so runny lately.
But you're not actually getting full on sick.
No.
So it could be allergies.
Yeah, I think it is. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
Kentya, thank you for this.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
This was such a lovely conversation, learning more about your experience within the music industry in BC, all the work that you've been doing and advocating for music artists and, you know, professionals to be able to have a foot in the door, to be able to be part of the table and have a seat at the table. Yeah. You know, it's also just been so dope to see you over all of these years. Different events, different contexts, parties, and enjoying what we love to enjoy.
We need to dance together.
And go to the sauna, because now I found out you like the sauna.
Or the gold chain.
Yes. Well, shout outs to everybody who has been tuned in onto the live stream, everyone who's watching the replay after. We appreciate you. Also, big shout outs to MOARRR Studio for being our studio partner, TELUS STORYHIVE for powering today's episode. If you are an artist or creative, a dancer, a chef, musician, and so on and so forth, and you would like your opportunity to share your story on the show, you can scan the little QR code that's on the edited version of this video, fill out the form, and maybe you shall sit next to me eating all the wonderful treats that we're about to dive into. My name is Kazi. This is Kentya. How can people find you if they want to find you?
Yeah, my Instagram is just my face. Well, let's see if I remember. Kentya and then 2 underscores. But I'm pretty sure if you spell it, you could probably find it. Yeah.
Stay tuned for all the fun things happening with Music BC, with advanced music. This has been Story Hive on Location Vancouver with Beats, Eats, and more.